Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Locutors of Trek, Class L Probe, Absentia-Minded Locutors. That's us. This is a spin-off of the Debate 9 channel, and we came to the conclusion when I suck at the debates, and I would like to talk more about the questions. And, every now and then we get together every couple of weeks or months sometimes and talk about some of the more interesting Debate 9 topics in depth. And, we're represented with 2 time zones tonight, guys. You guys are all, in Atlantic Standard Time, in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick represented here with Dave and Davin and Heather. And I'm in our nation's capital here in Ottawa, Ontario, where it's getting cold and windy and snowy and freezing rainy. Not a nice evening.
Proper time, as we call it here. I mean, as you add time from here, you're just adding accounting for land.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So it's a great night to be by your computers and with us. We're excited to have this little opportunity, and let's just get right into it. So we're going to go into chosen debate topics, but a little more detail, where one of us will we picked a topic, and we're going to have the other 2 debate it, or in this case 3, I guess. Mm-hmm. Right? How do we do this, Davin?
This isn't Debate 9. Did you forget which show you were on again?
No. We're just talking about the show. I always forget.
It's interesting, right? Because when I think back, sometimes it feels like we sort of aim to see if we can come to a consensus, and sometimes we kind of let the offerings sit on the table. Because sometimes they are so interesting and they're different that they just kind of got to stand there.
It's interesting the difference in some of these questions,
but yeah, I feel like sort of one of the other impulses
that aren't forthcoming.
Yeah. So Davin, I'm not sure how you got them teed up tonight, but I think
it's up to you.
Let's start with Dave. Let's start clockwise.
Coming in just with a softball pitch.
Dave, Heather, Davin, and then I'll wrap it up.
You guys hear that, Probe?
Yes, we do.
I did.
All right. Thanks, Worf.
Worf didn't hear it. That's great.
All right.
Should Captain Sisko be tried as a war criminal in absentia? So here's our absentia in Absentia-Minded. And to me, this is just a wonderful kind of Federation question, right? Because, I mean, I think it's arguably one of the most badass scenes in Deep Space Nine when Eddington calls Sisko's bluff and says, "You're not going to do it." And he says, "Mr. Worf, fire." And then repeats, because even Worf doesn't believe he's going to, right? It's one of those moments where Sisko really fulfills that early statement right before he socks Hugh in the mouth, where he says, "I'm not Picard." Mm-hmm. Right? He's a different captain. He's a different commander. He's just a different kind of Starfleet officer all around. And it's an amazing moment. Nevertheless, things that happen in the middle of war sometimes are not adjudicated in the moment, or are the consequences be damned, right? But those consequences are something I'm really interested in for Starfleet, because to me, like, the immediate post-Dominion War period is a pretty fascinatingly untreated time by Star Trek. We haven't seen a huge amount of stuff about that immediate. Some comic books and some other things, but in terms of on-screen canon stuff, not much, or if any. And so, to me, I think it would be fascinating to see who would be standing to the defense or appointed to the defense of Sisko in this case. I could see a kind of measure of a man, sort of a trial playing out, but the gaping problem in the room being the absence of Sisko, the emissary, captain and commander of Deep Space Nine.
How are you going to try a god?
Right? Yeah. Do go on.
What does it say? Should my captain be tried as a war criminal? I think I can settle this one right here. No. All right, moving on. So, what's next, Adam? What's up
okay,
next?
but Davin, why not?
I settled this one. What?
Why not, Dad? Because he's your captain?
No, I'm
Loyalty is admirable.
loyalty to one's captain. Yeah.
I dropped the camera and something happened. What happened now?
Oh, defended my captain. We're done here. Move on.
Admirably defended his captain with
Devin
laudable.
said, should my captain be tried as a war criminal? No. End of discussion. Let's move on.
Yeah. But no, but
he was
seriously,
eloquent and concise.
I think what I'll do here I would like to do is kind of confront the part of this that you didn't get satisfied in the debate when you made this question because nobody tackled the
Can you come closer to the mic?
You can't hear me?
Not well, no.
Oh wow, I'm usually super loud. Okay, let me see what's going on here.
Just put your mouth closer to the microphone.
What? My mouth stays right where it is. Oh, it is way down. Okay. What about now? Too loud?
No, that's good.
That's great now.
That's great.
Good.
It's like your mouth is closer, but without even going there.
Exactly. No, but so let's look at the Absentia part because nobody talked about that in the debate, and Dave was just like, "Well, nobody answered my question." So I've been trying to think of any reason, or like how many reasons I could think of to try anyone in Absentia.
Okay.
So the first thing I thought of was, well, if you think that this person might come back to a place where you can prosecute them. But then that makes no sense because why not just wait for that? You could try have a better court proceeding or whatever if that person is here rather than if they're not.
Yeah.
So that makes a fair
point.
So I could see it being done ceremoniously if someone is just like incredibly horrible. Like if you wanted to like try Hitler in Absentia, like go for it. It might make people feel better. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like Sisko's not that. So like I'm trying to think of any reason to try anyone in Absentia that wouldn't make more sense to just wait until you had that person. So now to the other point. Should my captain be tried as a war criminal? Look, he told the Marquis. Look, it was war. No, no, but
I'm not sure that applies.
No, but
that's not the argument you think it is, damn it.
No, I'm just kidding. But like, no, he told everyone to evacuate. And gave them time to do so. And as far as we know, because we never heard anything to the contrary, every human did evacuate the planet. So all he really did was destroy their infrastructure. Now, as a biodiversity fellow myself, I don't like the fact that he destroyed life on this planet. But we don't even know that there was any. We don't know what kind of planet it was. All we know.
Yeah, but what about in the pale moonlight? We know he did that.
Did what?
We did.
What?
He did a personal log. That's all he did.
So he's on those missing tapes, Captain Sisko.
My question is this against Federation law?
What he did against the Marquis, I don't think he would care at all. I think Heather actually makes a better point.
No. But is it a law that says they can't do it?
They let stuff like that go all the time. Like, that's the thing. Like, the way he did it, they would be probably okay with that. And they were.
Well, we don't know. Well, I suppose in the sense that they don't do anything to him during the duration of the wartime.
Yeah, but the other part I have a problem with too is the fact that it didn't just target Namakhi. It was the entire population.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that
whether you gave them. Listen, we're going to not launch a nuclear weapon. Get out. Okay, is that enough?
Yeah. That's an excellent point. You know, another side that comes up for me here is the question of
you help the Marquis, you are Marquis, Adam.
Well, you know, but the other question is the classic custos custodes, right? Who will watch the watchman, right? Who actually does the investigating of this? I mean, to me, Sisko couldn't be tried by Starfleet.
Data.
In the sense that Starfleet prosecuted the war. If it's going to pretend to try its own war criminals, that's crazy. This would have to either be some kind of arbitration between Starfleet and the Federation at large, saying, okay, we hand this guy over to have this kind of thing. In absentia, I think only because there's no presumption of knowing when this guy would return. So the only way to do this would have to be in absentia. But
again, why not just wait until he eventually comes back? Isn't that, one, better for the court proceedings, two, a better use of resources, because you're not tying it up with things that aren't even really in existence in the moment?
Well, I think it goes to your earlier point that there's a degree to which any kind of procedure that would, fit this definition would be, for some reason, sort of political or ceremonial in nature, right? This would be to sort of say, oh yeah, the Federation also made some mistakes during the war. Here's a guy. He happens not to be around, so we're not going to put him in jail. But yeah,
But to make the ceremony like that of Benjamin Sisko, like, who would do that?
Right. I mean, Starfleet's not going to do that.
No, but who else would?
Why would the Federation want to do
of all
that?
the people? There's
With the Klingons?
Like, Eddington. No, Eddington might, but he's not around to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I mean, the way you pose it, the question does kind of start to self-destruct under any kind of realistic political outlook. That's really interesting.
Davin, I do think that you got to the crux of the argument with why try him in absentia. If he's going to be tried, wait until he returns. And also, who would conduct the trial? I think those are both two very good points. So, no.
Freaking hero.
Yeah.
So, two things from me on this is that I think during this war, the standard rules of Federation and Starfleet go away. This is a wartime. Because of Sisko's position in the war and seen as such a leader, you can't treat him. You can't take him away from the to actually do a trial. But the same he is key. If you took away that general essentially, or tried him, and you found him guilty, it would, I think, hit morale across Starfleet. And
don't
you need.
Well, what's more important though, morale or justice?
Don't we have to be also really specific about what we're talking about here? Because if we're talking about what he did to the Maquis planet, that's not a war. But if we're talking about what Heather brought up in the Pale Moonlight, well, that was during a war. And if you want to call that a war crime, then we can talk about that. But like that thing about the Maquis, that was just like, I don't know what you call that, but it's not a war crime. There's no war. He's just like gassing a planet because his enemies are on it. Like, so that's like it's like offshoot kind of crime.
I suppose that would be whatever the equivalent of sort of a human rights violation or a crime against humanity would be.
But they're not at war with the Maquis. It's a different situation. So like, what are they trying?
Well, that's a very interesting distinction as well. Yeah, it's almost like in contemporary language, it would almost be like an anti-terrorist operation. In terms of like how those are construed in international law, right?
Though also comparing those two things, you could say the one from the Pale Moonlight is the one that's a war crime for sure because they're at war. But also
specifically killing a foreign representative.
Yeah,
who I assume has diplomatic immunity and all sorts of things.
Yes, 100% a war crime.
But in a way, that one was the more altruistic one. Even though he let all the humans get off the planet, it was just a vengeance thing anyway. That was just him like going on a vengeance thing. So like, there's not like, so that's another thing with that one. But
I think that part of the problem is the structure and the hierarchy of Starfleet itself is that you put these guys in almost impossible positions where they, they're so far away that they can't get immediate feedback from the command structure, and they have to make decisions. And whether they're vengeful or wrong, Heather, they do make them. And when you give people that kind of power to make decisions, and they're going to do it, and
That's a
And-
good point, because if you then try everybody that you have at the helm and find them a war criminal, or nobody's going to want to do it anymore.
Yeah, and isn't it, if we're talking about comparing things too, is not destroying a ship and murdering all the people on it, which happens all the time, which happened a million times in like a single battle that we see in Star Trek, worse than gassing a planet when you've given everyone time to get off of it, and they did.
Or one Romulan senator, like one guy. Nobody even liked him.
We may be comparing apples and Tarkalian.
Yeah, because you're like talking
Uh,
combatants and maybe non-combatants, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you're talking about killing a whole bunch of people and not killing
Now,
anyone.
I mean, there are some examples we can look back to. Certainly, Captain Picard, after the battle at Maxia, did go in front of a Starfleet review.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are lots of times when official actions like
Pressman,
that result
Admiral
in
Pressman,
Pressman,
Captain Maxwell.
lots of times when that's going to be an official part of what Starfleet's doing, right? They're going to do a review afterwards, some kind of after action analysis to say, were there any mistakes made? Did anything go wrong one way or another, especially in situations where, like at Maxia, they're really unsure about what was even happening in the first place. They just got hammered, they defended themselves, they had to
That's not
abandon
the same
ship,
as a
you know?
war crime tribunal, though.
No, but that these things could be not certainly in terms of war crimes tribunal common, but could be a natural result of some of the things you might encounter during space travel. You know, it doesn't seem totally impossible.
So, my answer is no. What about you guys? Definitely no to the Absentia part, and like almost extra no to the other part because of all the things that captains have done. I mean, if they're just gonna start, like Heather said, just start trying everybody that does something like Sisko does to try to like save the day, then it's gonna be a lot of court scenes.
Was Janeway tried as a war criminal after everything she did out there in the Delta Quadrant?
Kirk would have to be. Picard would have to be. They'd all have to be, wouldn't they not? Once that first domino falls, like there's different cases, like what Adam was saying. Like there's undeniable people like Maxwell, who just like disobeys order after order after order while killing people repeatedly. It's just like clearly there's a problem.
I mean, I guess for me, I think I can see this to be something that Starfleet Command debates. What do we do?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
He bombed a planet.
Yeah.
And
well,
what do we do about this? You're like,
well, no, I guess it was like a.
We got to figure
bomb,
like some explanation for this, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'm convinced here. I think the answer ultimately ends on no, because any point at which they're going to decide they want to try him for this or get to a process that would bring a charge that would bring something to trial would be after the war, because they're just desperately trying to survive up to that point. And by then, what's the point of trying the guy? You can speak about his legacy. He's effectively dead.
If you do try him and find him guilty, what consequence will there be? He'll just be like, all right, y'all, peace out. I'm just gonna go live in the wormhole forever with the cool aliens. Bye.
I think that's like
or he becomes his own little like insurgent group.
Right? Yeah, I think it the reason for a trial like that falls apart. Yeah.
Adam?
So, I mean, what he did morally right and correct under Starfleet law? No, I think we can all agree that. But is there anything to be gained by trying him in person or in absentia? Also, no.
Gain. Like, what's the point? What's the point at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, do you have other points you want to add?
No, I just think that they also recognize the fact they can't take him off the line. The guy's too important. He knows too much. Like, like find another guy like Sisko.
I mean, dude literally knows where the bodies are buried, right?
Yes, and
yes.
That's part of the trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
right on.
Who's up next, Adam?
Heather's up next.
All right.
It's me.
Let's launch a probe.
We should destroy the probe.
Oh, see, you pissed Worf off with that last argument too.
No, Worf
You
and
didn't
I
like
are
the first one
equal.
getting past it.
No. All right, let's try another one.
We should destroy the probe.
All right, one more.
He just likes destroying things.
He does. Firing
Yeah,
phasers, Captain. What? We're like doing surveys. Like,
Nope. He just gets that and destroy the probe button, and they should never have given it to him.
I've destroyed the information, Captain. And we're here to gather information.
They've saved us from
let's
learning.
See what Worf thinks about this. What's this one, Heather?
My topic is, should Klingons be morally opposed to bioweapons? And I mean, I think everybody should be opposed to bioweapons.
That's going to be what I said.
But Klingons especially, based on their code of honor. Now, of course, we have shady Klingons, the Duras family, Gowron sometimes.
Certainly near the
So
end.
they certainly wouldn't be opposed to it because they don't strictly adhere to the Klingon code of honor as we have seen established. But to me, that is absolutely against everything the Klingons believe. Sneaking up on the enemy, killing them without them knowing it's you, without them knowing it's anybody. Absolutely. The Klingons would not use bioweapons, in my opinion.
Well,
It's an interesting point because the thing I was going to bring up there until you said just that last clause was the cloaking device. Because they absolutely do love sneaking up on people in some ways. But
sneaky
you're right,
good.
they are going to announce their presence and then shoot at you.
Yes.
They're like going to show up and then fire.
They just like to make a splashy entrance.
They don't want you to have time to like do your like science and shit to try to stop. They want to be like, we're here, bang, 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 bang. Science, that. Science, the
Jazz
Invaders
hands,
Federation.
everybody.
I think it's true that Klingons are the drama queens of the Federation races.
I love them.
Truly.
Kappa.
But I have something to
yeah.
say to all of you. Do you know what a true bioweapon is? A battleth in the hands of a trained.
I was going to say a Bolian
That's
coming out of
bioweapon.
the head, but
Oh,
That too. They have caustic.
true
bottle
bioweapon
fluid.
right there.
Yeah.
The Horta.
A battleth. No. But
Well, can I be a
Yeah.
devil's advocate here, though?
yep.
Oh,
Like, while we believe that the Klingons are honorable and truly would do the right thing and fight through, see your adversary, fight hand to hand, ship to ship, type of thing. But I do
Was it
believe
you who
that,
debated this one, Adam?
Pardon?
In the debate, was it you who debated this one in the
I don't
debate
remember.
9? Oh, okay.
Maybe. But I do think when pushed to it and all is lost, they don't want to lose. They don't want to
mhm.
surrender.
That's where it went in the debate 9. So I
Right.
don't remember who argued it, but the person who had to debate against this that's exactly what they said. They said, you know what they're really morally opposed to? Losing. Victory is more important to them than their moral
and
thoughts about
the glory of
bioweapons.
the
And that's a very
you
convincing
can't
argument.
let the Empire be defeated. So
Yeah.
in that case, I could see
What's
the
the
use
situation?
of bioweapons.
Well,
Yeah, I think that they would find a way to frame them as weapons.
And what's the bioweapon? Like, does that come into play? Like, what are we?
let's
COVID.
think about instances
What?
where Klingons
COVID?
have
Well,
done
Klingon
things
COVID.
with bioweapons, right?
what was
Pardon?
that?
They've had their own experience with biological weaponry in terms of the attempted augment virus they used.
Yeah,
Right?
Right.
Which
they did to themselves.
right, like they used a bioweapon on themselves. So at
We do not
least we know
discuss
that
it.
at least at some point
Yeah, we
they
don't
were
know.
not morally opposed to bioweapons. So
Yeah,
maybe
That's a good point
Klingons
too.
should now be morally opposed to it, but we certainly know they weren't at one point.
Though it
Right,
did
and-
seem
and-
that what was his name? Antak, right? The
Mhm.
scientist that made.
I think
It
so.
did seem like, other than James Avery, that Klingon dude played by James Avery, it didn't seem like really anybody else knew what he was doing. Like, it was James Avery kind of pulling his strings and bossing him around, but he seemed to be like, it's that classic thing you see in Marvel comics with like Weapon X and stuff all the time. There's like the head guy bossing the scientists around and the scientists doing the work. Like,
Mhm.
they're usually secretive and no one knows about either of them really. And but
Sure.
at least to that
And-
point,
and
like,
rogue
certainly that
programs in that
Klingon
sense
commander played by
shouldn't be-
James Avery didn't give a shit.
Sure, but you make a fair point that rogue programs may not be like indicative of a whole culture.
I also
And-
wonder about.
Well,
what-
this is
what-
it, and that's something that comes up in Star Trek all the time when we're discussing the finer points. People are not a monolith. Humans are not a monolith. Klingons are not a monolith, so there are going to be some that are different than others. For the sake of storytelling, all Klingons are honorable, right?
And traditionally, Star Trek would lump these alien races into a box like that, where they're
Exactly.
all monoliths. So I love
Mhm.
when they show any character who is not that. Like, there are tons of examples. Of course, Jaden Krog is very different, of course, in the new Star Trek. But like in the old Star Trek, they got oh God, what's his name from Defector?
Right.
Sure.
Like he was very unlike the other Romulans and stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
But
it's always
even-
been interesting when they break those monoliths.
And
I
the
love
Duras,
the,
we're talking about the Klingons, the Duras family, they're all
Mhm.
underhanded, shady, willing to do anything to grab power.
and
and-
the thing is, with those families in control, people are going to follow.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
As-
just think
as-
that victory at any cost
Mhm.
is more of a Klingon thing than we.
It is a very Klingon thing, though. Like, that plays into this particular, because it's specifically a Klingon argument here. It's a very
Well,
different than with like
makes me think
arguing
of,
it for anyone else, because the answer is no for everyone else. But the
I
Klingons
think
just
that
don't.
they would have to do some mental gymnastics in order to frame it for themselves in a way that would be honorable.
Well,
Like, if the
let
Herc
me- let
came
me-
back, they would gas the Herc without even questioning it. And
But
not
let
feel
me put it to you this way, even right. What is the premise of the opening of Enterprise? Right, like what is it? Broken Bow.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Oh, it's
So
a great one,
the-
Heather. It's a great opener.
The whole thing is this Klingon gets to Earth, and he gets messed up by a couple of Stulabum, and they're trying to get him back to Konos.
And then a couple rednecks.
That's right. That's true.
No,
he also
that's
gets
a
stopped
different
by.
scene.
Anyway,
But
so this guy, they're trying to get him back, and it turns out that he's hidden secrets. It's like a microfilm or a microfiche story, right? But the dead drop for the microfiche is actually his own cell. So he's dropped it inside like genetic information that he's hidden inside his bloodstream or something, right? So there's a way in which, like, for me, that opening of Enterprise combined with I'm going to try and string a couple of points together. Now, take the Klingon that runs the Replimat and plays the Klingon fiddle on Deep Space Nine, and then
whoa!
the lawyer. So let me paint you a picture.
It's not a Replimat. He's a Klingon chef, and I
Yes,
love
he's
him.
Klingon
chef.
chef, I'm sorry.
He
just wanders through the
on
Replimat.
this show.
He wanders through the Replimat playing the Klingon fiddle. I apologize.
Wow.
You're seated at the Replimat when he's playing it. You're right. I retract my erroneous statement. Let me just take that for the record here.
I'm sorry, I just got upset because he's the hottest Klingon. Carry on.
So did
No,
I.
he's
a good
I wanted
singer.
to bring him up because he's so great. And then I did him a disservice. This is
Insulted him right to his. He's not here, but
shame for me and my house. Anyway, so my point was these characters all represent, and that is, the Klingon lawyers and others we see, the judges, represent all sorts of other aspects of Klingon society that gets submerged progressively, and we know this because it's commented on by various Klingon characters, it gets submerged into this dominating warrior militarizing culture over the centuries, right? And I think the Klingon interest in biotech to me is super fascinating. But by the time we're dealing with it in like the 24th century, it doesn't seem to be anything that's very much focused on, right? The kind of the funding, the resources that would have gone into that in the 23rd century when Archer or Kirk would have been running into these guys just aren't there anymore. So I don't know if Klingons are morally opposed to bioweapons, but they're certainly economically uninterested in it. And that's a different aspect altogether.
I was
And
just
I
thinking
mean,
about
maybe-
Enterprise there. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Henry.
go ahead.
I was just thinking about Dave's comment on Enterprise. Archer was just chasing like the worst kind of weaponry ever. His whole career.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like poor Earth.
Sort of,
Poor Florida.
yeah, it's just like WMDs everywhere, man.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But yeah, the only other thing I can think of to enter into this conversation is, I mean, certainly the Klingons are very much about, like, you know, almost, of course, punishment of the self, really, but like, you know, like putting yourself through pain and stuff like that. So like, sure, like maybe they'll experiment on themselves, but I think one thing they like to punish even more than themselves is their enemies. So bio weapons on themselves, would they not also on, like, again, it's not everyone, but it's just like we have to almost like frame this as like the higher ups in the Klingon council and the Klingon military, kind of, because they'd be the ones making these decisions.
And we certainly don't hear a lot about worlds inside the Klingon Empire. We don't hear about species that are in there very much.
No, and their empire is huge. They have so many worlds inside their empire. We just they seem to which gives you the idea that maybe they kind of subjugate them quite a bit.
Do they have any strange new worlds?
Certainly. New to you.
I was at the I went to the War Museum with my son yesterday, and you know, we were reading. It gets the world. It takes you through the evolution of Canadian military conquests and
War.
Pardon? War? I'm just making
the Boer War.
It started way back when, right? You know, but it did talk about the War. Anyway, World War One is what I'm getting to, and they're they're talking about, or you know, the visualization, the gas tax, and everything they were using. And there was a quote from a soldier that basically said, "I would rather face, you know, thousands of bullets than gas." And you know, that in itself is, you know, from somebody who lived it, was a very bold statement to me. I thought, my God, it must have been horrible. If you're going to say, if I'm
not mistaken, Canadians were the first victims of the gas.
Probably.
Yeah, Saint-Julien in 1915. Yeah.
So what is this? Everything's different now.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of there are a lot of accounts in war diaries that would echo that sentiment. Absolutely. They come back and they're like, this is not the world I was in last week. You know?
And you think of other just things that have happened, and thinking of that Union Carbide plant in India that blew up, and that whole, I'm not sure where it was, but that town that was all, you know, and hearing the accounts of people dying
in there,
I'm sorry, but just, you know, when you hear and see things like that, like you think, oh my God, it's a terrible way to die and a way to deliver it, but is it any different than a bullet? I don't know.
Yes.
And humans have done it, and you say what you will about those humans, but with Klingons,
right?
Like, I don't know. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Well, I stand by my opening argument, which was I think everyone should be morally opposed to bioweapons.
Well, they should be. The question is,
and it's interesting because we've kind of moved between the should and the are. You know, I think, yeah, in an unspoken way, I completely agree with you. And I think all I can do is investigate, are Klingons or are they likely to be morally opposed to bioweapons?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I do think it's somewhat situational with them.
I'm glad that I chose this one because all your points of view are quite interesting, and I would have flat out said absolutely they should be, but you all made some very good points.
Also, we know the Klingon propensity for, how should we say, embellishing and perhaps even changing details of stories. So if they did defeat an enemy using bioweapons, do you think that's what the song in the story would tell?
No. Winner always writes the history.
That's correct.
Which is kind of why I think, I don't know. I gotta think a lot of Klingons would not be, and I think that's why when we're showing it, like we talk about that monolith, the examples of Klingons that aren't that monolith are usually the Klingons who would be morally opposed to bioweapons.
The traditionalists.
They generally seem to be the outliers, like the Worfs or the Kalar, or even Kern. I don't think Kern would be up for that a whole lot, just because his influence from Worf, though. Like, he's pretty hardline too. You could probably be sucked into a bioweapon scheme pretty easily. But so maybe Martok. Martok's a pretty damn honorable Klingon, like the best, almost like the best of the best. So I don't think that's why his leadership was thrust upon him. So I don't think Martok would be down for that. That's why he's the best. Check out our interview with J.G. Hertzler. It's a ton of fun.
It's a ton of fun. That's a good interview.
That's really good. I think we need to move on just for time reasons, but I would like to say one thing about Kalar. I was watching Star Trek with my bonus dad who loves Star Trek, and it was a Kalar episode, and he goes, I thought she was such a great character. I wonder why they didn't do more with her. And I said, well, they bridged her so male characters could have feelings about it. And he goes, oh boy.
It's true. It's 100% true.
But it's 100% true.
I know.
Yes.
She's like
that is why I come to this show to debate and not with my dad.
Okay, now we have to talk about that for a second now.
Yes.
Just never mind that point. The actress who played Kalar, but also Dr. Solar, the Vulcan doctor.
Susie Plaxton.
And Lady Q, Susie Plaxton.
I wish they would have done more with her because she was very good.
Oh, man.
Well, I'll ask her because I'm going to marry her one day. Anyway,
okay.
But anyway.
Excellent.
Because she didn't get much after doing Kalar. She didn't do much.
No, I mean,
no, she was also the Vulcan Salar, was it?
Yeah, Dr. Solar, the Vulcan doctor, and she was the Lady Q.
Yeah,
and outside of Star Trek, she had a recurring role on How I Met Your Mother as one of the main characters' mothers.
I think she was on a soap back in the day.
She was a great presence.
All right, who's up next, Dad?
I think we should go to mine actually because it ties in.
Right.
Great.
Let's fire one off here.
So should Captain Picard have infected Hugh with the nanites in order to destroy the Borg?
Yes.
Whoa.
It's over. All right, let's move on.
Isn't that bioweaponry?
Look,
I'm not a Klingon.
Heather and I are getting it done here.
Genocide?
They were good. You genocide them before they can genocide you.
I have one thing to say with this
that
I think will like cut this question in half, kind of. I think they had to be more creative. Hugh was like a beautiful human being by the time they were done resuscitating or rehabilitating him. To use him for anything like this is just, you're no better than the Borg. So no. But so they needed to be more creative. Now, if you want to talk about should they use nanites to destroy the Borg, who will stop at nothing to destroy you and your children and your children's children, that's a conversation we could have here. But to use Hugh that way, no.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Mm.
I think that, these are explorers, but when they're in military situations, they're military captains and admirals and whatever, and they'll send people into battles where they're going to die, and this is no different.
Well, I mean, Picard sent Ensign Cito Jaxa knowing she was going to die.
Yeah.
And she was at least as sweet as Hugh.
Oh, she was much sweeter.
Oh, they're both very sweet.
So, new question: should he have used Ensign Cito Jaxa
but
to destroy the Borg?
Hugh's not a Starfleet officer, and Hugh didn't agree to go on any mission to destroy his people.
They weren't his people. They stole him. They abducted him. They kidnapped him. They assaulted him.
But they are people that are exactly him. To him, they are people who have been taken and become Borg, and they should be reclaimed like he was. Like they're just other examples of him. To him, he would not want to be used to kill all those people. Okay. And he became like this super big Borg liberator later. But which also, the way that episode played out, like he eventually tells them their damage they did the damage anyway, because they like implanted individuality back into the Borg.
Well, and that comes back up in Descent, right?
In Descent.
Too. But this raises an interesting question for me. So when I raised the point about genocide earlier, which that assumes that we consider the Borg a form of life. And I think that's open to debate as well.
Well, they're a lot.
Because certainly they're premised a lot of the time, like their drones are premised on live material. But the amount, like, if you just consider the ratio of mass of drones to a cube and then to all Borg infrastructure, drones are actually maybe the most minimal aspect of what the Borg are.
It's curious why they need them.
Do we consider them alive?
Why do they not just use computers for a lot of the things that Borg drones seem to do? Like, it's curious why they have all these drones. Other than the
I mean, there's a stupid answer in one of the novels, but
like,
yeah.
I mean, my understanding is they take the best of every culture they, assimilate and use it. So
they don't need the drones for that after that.
Maybe.
But best seems to include those bodies as well.
I guess so. Degree. Yeah, I guess so.
My feeling on this is that
biodiversity too.
Yeah, my feeling on this is that Picard had a bigger responsibility to the Federation and than Hugh, and
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah, you forgot that.
Well, and Picard did become a Borg and did come back, so his body, one assumes, was alive in the meantime.
Needs of the many, the Borg outnumber us.
The needs of the many being the Federation outweigh the needs of the Hugh,
or all non-assimilated cultures, and never mind just the Federation. They're not going to stop.
Yeah, fair.
And
unless they don't find you distinct enough.
Pardon?
Yeah. And
they've shown that if they don't find you interesting, they don't just destroy you, like,
Yeah, they bypass the case on it, right? Entirely.
Yeah.
When was Iborg in the timeline of everything?
Season 4 or 5, I think.
4 or 5, after.
So after Picard's been assimilated.
That's the thing I wanted to enter into this conversation, actually.
Yes, I think it's
Picard is uniquely
assimilated, but
yeah, it is. So he's unique to understand this. Like, he should understand this conundrum better than anyone. And this is what he chose. He chose not to.
But I wonder if he ever regrets.
He knows that the Borg drones are people who are just being enslaved.
Well,
Because now they've proven that they can reclaim them. Before
Tell
that,
that
it just
to,
seemed like they were gone forever. But they've proven
Oh.
with Hugh and with Picard that they can reclaim these people. So
what's
they
the
are
ensign's
just
name he shoots
That's
up
interesting.
on the
to
holodeck?
Hugh and Jean-Luc Picard.
At what
That's what I
cost, though? At what cost to non-assimilated people?
Well, fair enough.
Enslaved people have been
but if
forced
we
to do
just,
many a bad thing in their
Sure, but I think that's a really interesting point. If we slow down just to stick on that for a sec, the choice that Picard makes is actually really interesting, right? Like he doesn't choose not to destroy the Borg. If we're gonna take your reading like as sort of what's happening in the moment in Borg there, right?
Sure.
He's not choosing not to destroy the Borg. He's choosing not to commit themselves to an action that would lead to the destruction of all the drones, which I think is an interestingly different choice.
Sure,
Starfleet is saying, send the nanites that are just going to basically shut everything down. All the drone bodies would basically die or be sucked into the vacuum or whatever. All their infrastructure would shut down. They'd just be wiped away. And that is, let's be honest, very convenient.
Yeah.
But why couldn't
Picard's
he?
Choice,
Sorry, carry on.
That's what I'm saying is Picard's choice, I think, if we're going to take it that way, is to take Hugh seriously, that like he actually has a self, reinsert that in there, and then allow that to propagate in such a way that there is a chance for liberation. Does that make any sense?
Could they not have programmed the nanites to give the collective the command to sleep, as they did in Best of Both Worlds? Then they could liberate them once they were
didn't
asleep.
know that then.
They needed to do something more creative.
Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did know that then.
They did, because it was after.
But my whole thing with this is that I think Picard
could've.
probably regretted his choice, because when you go to jump ahead now to First Contact.
Yes.
And remember poor old Ensign Lynch?
Yeah.
Well, surely many Borg would rather meet the Abyss than continue to be Borg, if you could ask them that question, like free of the Borg.
The line must be drawn here.
And no father.
That's different, like such a different response from Picard, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
in that moment, he's trying to save someone from becoming a Borg in the first place, which he thinks is the most experience you could possibly
that's fair.
So that's a different kind of situation for him, I guess.
Yeah, the actual transformation is a whole different moment of horror in that sense. Yeah.
That's the part that made him cry.
Oh, those scenes are so good. You got a thought going there, Heather, it seems like.
I was thinking about Picard crying when he was...
I made her cry with the tear comment. Where I'm at on this one is I don't think they could do it that way. And I kind of talked myself into thinking they shouldn't try to destroy the Borg anyway. They should try to free them.
I don't think they have time. And they didn't work too hard to get better weapons after the Picard attack. They just... I think they
get it, Jellicoe over here. Get it done.
Get it done.
Fourth
shift. Put on a uniform while you're at it.
We need a fourth shift right now.
Right.
On a goddamn uniform, Hugh, wearing nuts and bolts around here, like.
He's a former Borg. Put that man in a cat suit.
Jellicoe would be appalled at my outfit. I'm like, it's science blue, Captain.
He would be.
Fine. Wearing my
like,
division
let me guess,
color.
you listen to jazz and hip hop.
That's
right.
So, Davin says no. What do the rest of us say? I say yes.
I say no.
I say yes. Big opportunity missed.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
Two.
beautiful hung decision. That's awesome.
You see, Dave, that's why we play music together.
Not for long
The
once we get you with the nanites, fellas.
We have nanites that can make you permanently out of tune. All right, let's fire this last probe here.
Let's do it.
Is Project Swing By a bad idea? Now, this is from Lower Decks, and the context of this is Captain Freeman went in the Cerritos went back to that planet with like Landru from the original series, and Landru had taken control again. So they're like, well, this is pretty friggin' ridiculous, actually. So maybe we should actually just go back and check on some of these planets where we thought we helped them with their problem and make sure the problem hasn't emerged. That was what she would petition to the Federation for this for like years after that incident. And eventually they're like, fine, we'll do Project Swing By, where you do this second contact thing. Or like, not second contact, that's a different concept. Sort of similar though. But anyway, where you go back and check on these planets. But like some of them didn't want more contact with the Federation. So there's that aspect as well. But I don't know. It's also just kind of nosy, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, but it's also a good point with the whole Landu thing. Like, there's a lot of other instances where like things kind of went wrong on a planet where they could go back and check on it, and maybe it wouldn't be that kind of a bad thing. But what do you guys think?
Kirk really should have gone back to check on Khan.
Yeah, see, that exact perfect Project Swing By definitely should have went by friggin' this is SGS-5.
I mean,
that's a good point, Adam. That's a damn good point. Like, if anything, they needed Project Swing By a couple hundred years earlier or whatever. So, like 70 years earlier.
I can't believe this is not a thing. Like, why don't they have this?
Well, maybe it's a great idea.
I feel like another word for Project Swing By could be diplomatic relations with non-Federation worlds.
But again, some of them didn't want contact.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Really fresh off this trauma of whatever the Federation cured them from in the first place. They just wanted to be left alone. Like,
so like in reality TV terms, it's a reunion special.
Every week.
Oh man. We'll have a clip show of our former meeting. It'll be awesome.
You just go back and see what everybody's been up to, see how things are going.
Did you reconsider?
So why does Captain Riker keep Project Swing Buying Ryza? I don't.
No, that's Project Swinging on Ryza.
Oh, he read it wrong.
Project Swing.
I think that's called diplomatic relations, and you should do it if the people have specifically said, no, we're not interested in further contact with the Federation. You mark a big X on it, do not go. You delete it from Data's memory, and you're good to go.
But what if that's like most of them?
Great,
that
don't
was
do
the
it.
Landru planet. That's the thing that kicked this off in the first place.
Well, if I recall, part of what happens with Project Swing By is that it ends up running right. It ends up running into partly a Badmiral, but partly the awkward side of, like, I don't know what you'd call it, like astropolitics, in the sense that some of these less contacted worlds become convenient as more shadowy sites, or sites where there's less eyes on them. And that seems to be part of what's going on in the Lower Decks episodes, right? Specifically by the time we get to the end where the climax of everything's happening.
But Benamigo.
Exactly, right? But this does seem sort of to replicate the logic of, like, what happens when somebody starts dealing too directly with a kind of political proxy or someone that we're trying to cultivate in that regard. You know, yeah, because they often tend to be done for these sort of like odd projects like what Amico is up to, right?
Now, where does this bump up against the Prime Directive?
Hmm.
Even if you think it would be really a good idea to go back to this planet, but they've asked you
Wait,
not
why
to.
does it bump up against the Prime Directive?
Well, if they've asked you not to come back, but you want
Are
to go
these
back,
warp
it
capable
would be a really
societies?
good idea if you did.
Sorry, what were you saying, Heather?
If they've asked you not to come back, then you don't come back. That's it. That's all.
But that part of Project Swing By is like kind of.
Well, I couldn't do that. I couldn't follow that rule.
Well,
Why?
that's certainly what Picard tells the people of what's that wonderful planet where they're about to develop warp? It's not Mintaka 3. It's you know the place, Gavin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
With
Yeah,
kind of odd hands. And Riker hooks up with the nurse.
Yes, I believe you're right. Yes. I
Like,
mean,
'cause
Riker
Riker-
hooks up with the nurse. It's not always the most specific definition of an episode.
Riker hooks up with the nurse with the glasses and the weird hand.
Yes, and who is played by BB Newworth, and the episode
Yes.
is First Contact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I forget the name, but their planet name starts with an M, I think. Anyway, but yeah,
reminds
that's
me of
what
this
Picard
great,
promises them, right? If you don't want to see us again, we'll never come back.
This reminds me of that episode. Reminds me of this great quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Actually, he's just like, they always show aliens coming down and go and take me to your leader. He's just like, I'm pretty sure they mean your scientific leader, not your political leader.
Well, okay,
Because it's like, take them to the president. And he's like, no, I don't think that's what they meant.
So Davin, great, thank you. You're getting. Heather asked why I said what I said.
Mhm.
Exactly that is, you know, assuming that a leader is a point in time, you know, and the craziness or the whatever we're dealing with is only for a short time. Other people make decisions. So, you know, whether it's one person deciding, no, you can never come back. Imagine, I hate to say
Yeah,
it,
that's a
but-
great point. Like, when does that expire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the thing is you're saying is that if they say no, never, then, you know, somebody can control the information
Never
and
to
nobody
one
else
person.
knows about it. So I think that, you know, someday I would want them to come back and maybe bump into somebody else.
Yeah, I was
That's
thinking
a
about that
great
earlier too.
point.
It's just like if one person says never come back, it's maybe like maybe literally the person who's just like the next in line for their job is just like, no, actually come back immediately. Like, but then they could
That's a great
contact you
point.
also. But like,
Or
maybe
what
they
if it's
don't
a country,
know. Maybe
you
they
know, what if it's a, you know, a totalitarian state that, you know, somebody, I mean, they need to be.
Well, then they probably wouldn't have left in the first place if it's the Federation. Like, they probably would have kept an eye on that. Like, in most of these situations, they think they fixed the problem, and it's all about swinging by to see if the problem is still fixed.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
good points, though, Ed.
So let me pose it this way: are there conditions under which a swing by would be a bad idea?
If, I guess, that person that told you to never come back was literally just echoing the sentiment of the people. And now they're pissed.
Yes, no means no. Like the race that really didn't want the Federation to come by, that they totally wanted to be left alone. I forget the name of them, where the thing with data, right? Is it Clues?
Oh,
Where Beverly
right.
keeps knocking the glass, the
That's a
same
good
things
episode.
keep happening over and over, right?
Yeah.
And they figure it out, but
Yeah.
then this race is like, okay, well, if you won't leave us alone and the scheme that you came up with to leave us alone doesn't work, we're going to kill you all.
we love a mystery.
Yeah, they're all like, you know what? Maybe we should Project Swing by those Clues aliens.
No means no. Leave them alone.
Yeah. So, but that's like,
To be
it's
fair,
hard to
though,
know. Like,
I hadn't considered, as you said, Adam, you know, right now, for example, who's in charge. I think we all know who I'm talking about. And, you know, maybe swing by later and see if he's dead or something. You know?
Well, I was keeping an ear out
It's in
for
the
a change
process.
in signaling.
Sure, but
fair, right?
couldn't
Yeah.
you monitor that from afar rather than swinging by? You know, just keep an eye. Just get like a guy with a bunch of screens and he's watching, you know, Planet
They've
TV.
tried that too, like hiding mountains and stuff, but then you get malfunctions, and all of a sudden, Data's an Iceman. You know,
Well, in
The
a certain way,
Iceman
that's
coming.
kind of what the Vulcans did with Earth, right?
Yeah.
They swung by every once in a while because, like, these guys are going to develop warp drive at some point. We're pretty sure, but if they don't kill themselves, you know, and so they kind of watch. But I think, and I think maybe it was Adam who brought this up earlier, is that in part we're dancing around the question of how does the Prime Directive relate to a warp-capable society? If a warp-capable society says, don't come back, don't ever visit us again, how do we ensure that's actually going to happen? You know, is that actually possible?
Why not? You can put it in the Federation computers across the board. This is here. They don't want to be contacted. Leave them alone. It's not Team Starfleet Galaxy Police, right? People have the right to be left alone.
I mean,
So I think we're like animated Paw Patrol Riker jumping over chairs.
Puppet sex scene.
You don't think Heather has Puppet Riker?
No.
So here's the thing about this one. In the infinite vastness and diversity and just endlessness of the galaxy, let alone the universe, do you really need to go back and bug people at all? There's so much.
Listen, we can't even talk across the damn globe here without getting arguments about stuff. So I can't imagine dealing with planet.
That's a great point. You find a civilization, they're like, leave us alone. You're like, okay, see ya.
Yeah. On to the next. See you in Risa.
Right? Wouldn't it be nice?
So
in a way, I kind of think it's a bad idea. I don't know. I kind of think it maybe is a bad idea.
I think it is. Unless you're swinging by Risa or Casperia Prime, I say we scrap Project Swing By.
That's Project Swinging. You keep messing that up.
Here's a question, though.
Right. I got confused again.
What about swinging by as a non-declared Starfleet vessel or something, or people just showing up and
just send like a diplomat? Well, even diplomats are no diplomats aren't they're Federation. They're not Starfleet,
right? But
under what umbrella, with what purpose, with what intention?
Just see if they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I just really depressed myself saying what I just said about people in the globe kind of talking to each other, and just imagine in Gavin's scale of the galaxy, and then oh my god,
I don't mean to be controversial here, but you know, there was a lovely Russian man once said there are, you know, years where nothing happens, and then there are days when years happen, or something to that effect. And we're in one of those periods. I have great hope that our ability to communicate with each other is going to be substantially clearer in a few years, if if we're all able to communicate by then.
Yeah,
I have hope.
Good.
I have hope too.
And isn't that something that we all can agree that we love about Star Trek? It's hope. It's hope for the future. It's hope for humanity. It's hope for a better future.
Hope in our better natures.
Go watch Starfleet Academy, everybody, because it's all that plus like hope for our children. Like it's a friggin' great show.
And everybody's hot.
Everybody's hot. It's modern Star Trek,
which is what we love about Star Trek: hope and hotness.
like Holly Hunter's name online is gilf grandma.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Oh
I've
my.
also seen her referred to as Space Mrs. Frizzle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love her.
nice.
She's my spirit animal. Like,
You can't have
If I
a
was
spirit
a-
animal.
if I was gonna be a Starfleet officer, I would just be her, basically.
Would you
That's
sit in the
fine.
chair properly, please?
No,
No, that's how I sit. Like for a podcast, I sit here, but normally my knees are always up. Like I don't sit in a chair normal ever.
You're not a
It
captain.
is
Same.
the case.
Like, she's my spirit animal. I love her. I will fight you if you say a bad word about okay.
Did you see somebody just like trashing her for the way she sits and like Janeway would never put up with that, blah blah blah. And Kate Mulgrew came on and was
Of course
like,
she would.
absolutely do not talk shit about my fellow captain
Yeah.
and invoke my name to do so. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Shut it down.
Good.
You're dismissed.
Yep.
Well, and can we say Janeway's chair would not permit most of those poses?
Mm-mm.
I think ergonomically, Janeway was working with what she had.
In
I mean,
fairness,
that chair
Like she's a
invites
tiny lady,
lounging.
but even she is large compared to Holly Hunter. Holly Hunter is this kind of tiny little compact person. So you put her in a normal person's chair, and it's like a bed to her. She's got to do something.
Yeah, I feel like that chair would be generous even if I were sitting in it, and I think I'm much larger than her.
The most hilarious
Like
thing about that
it
show
just feels big.
is that she's the boss. She's the big captain, and like she's on a show with kids, and they're all twice her height, like literally
Well,
twice her height. Like
in the last episode,
it's so
there
funny.
where Paul Giamatti sat in the captain's chair and he's like dwarfing, he's like spilling over the chair, and she sits in it and she's like an ant, and it's such a different.
And he's a small guy. He's probably like 5'5". Like he's a small guy.
No, but he's big though, bigger.
Oh yeah,
Like she's petite.
she's tiny. It's funny.
And then they put her next to
and then she wears bare feet,
Mirror.
so she's even smaller.
yeah. Anyway,
Oh, Mirror. Yeah, well, yeah.
she's not my favorite captain. I'm sorry to say. but
No?
you don't have to kill me for
Oh,
that.
I think she's great.
I mean, Picard.
Now, give me more Laura Thox. There hasn't been enough of her in the last few episodes.
She couldn't take the makeup anymore.
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought that too.
She's a great character.
Mhm.
Jeez.
So have we decided, is Project Swing By a bad idea? I say yes.
It's at least needless.
Yeah, I think it may be it may be trying to reinvent the wheel in some ways.
Adam.
You guys can just. It's unnecessary. We don't need to bother.
Let people come to you if like you've already had an interaction.
Indeed.
Surely people know where to find the Federation.
That way, space.
That way, that way, that way now.
Closer all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, these
Just
were some
sniff for
pretty
root beer.
great. Like this episode has proved like the true bounty of Debate 9, though. Like these are all 4 debates that I can't believe we haven't done already. They're all.
You look
great
at the
questions.
list we send every time back and forth, and it is very long.
It's
wonderful.
pretty long.
It was. I took time on this one. It's a long list. Holy cow!
Yeah.
And it's cut off. That's not even the full list because Davin sent it to me in Messenger, and Messenger only permits so many characters. So I need the bottom. of that list.
You can't bring it out, like extend it. I always send it to Dave on on Facebook Messenger. I send it to you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I always send
yeah.
it to Dave over like text, and it's just like it always immediately says not delivered in red, and then it immediately changes its mind and goes delivered. I'm like, okay, I think you
Yeah, it
got it.
delivers it to me in parts.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, I get like chapter 1 and chapter 2 of it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I need chapter 2.
All right. Well, I'll email it to you next time. It is a long list. I guess I could start deleting the ones we've used. Maybe
Yeah,
that would make the list smaller.
Oh.
Because I see those and go, I want to do that one again.
Yeah. We didn't argue about that enough. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
I would like
Well,
to flog that head card.
You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts, or email us at locutorsoftrek@gmail.com. And we are part of the Swear to Pod network.
We swear.
Any final words for anyone? Anything?
Always fun to see you guys.
You guys too.
Thank
I
you
just
for
blew
reaching out.
myself.
What?
Okay.
Arrested
that note-
Development, y'all. Oh,
Okay.
what the fuck?
Oh, Tobias Bunke.
Focus.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
Our blessed disciple of Surak.
does it speak?
Hi, I'm Spock. Amazing Spock impression.
Fascinating.
I bet y'all didn't know I
Pretty
was an
great, pretty great.
impressionist.
That was amazing.
Sounded
I
just like
love
it.
Logic.
Logic. Vulcan. Peace and long life or whatever.
Fascinating.
I'll always be your
Credibility
friend.
dropping precipitously.
On those notes.
Oh my god. And transmission.